So here's what we start with our entrepreneurs. We say there's 4 keys. One is to clarify. Clarity is 95% of your success. Be absolutely clear about who you are, what you want, and your goals. Second is to simplify. Strip out and get rid of all of the extraneous things in your life that are bogging you down. Number 3 is to maximize. And maximize is to take your special talents, abilities, and opportunities and really develop them to a high level. And number 4 is to multiply. And that is to leverage your talents and abilities. So here's the definition. We say clarify is develop absolute clarity about who you are. One of the things we do is we help people take assessments to determine who they are, what they like to do, what they're supposed to be doing. And we find that if you're in the wrong career for you, you'll never have any excitement about it. You'll never have any desire to get better at it. But if you change and you start doing what is right for you, you suddenly come alive. You become excited about what you're doing. So who you are, what you want, and the best way to achieve it. Clarity, clarity, clarity. We'll talk about all of these things. Second is to simplify. Simplify means to delegate, outsource, and eliminate all low-value, no-value tasks and activities in your life. In other words, look at the things you do in your life that contribute very little, and we'll talk about this later, very little to your success, but you keep doing them anyway. And you'll find that about 80% of your life is trivia. Remember the 80-20 rule? 20% of what you do accounts for 80% of your results, success, rewards, satisfaction, happiness, joy. Everything is in the top 20, which means the bottom 80% could be cut out completely and it have no negative effect on your life. What do most people spend most of their time on? Bottom 80%. Do you know television watching, since the last time we did this seminar just a few months ago, at that time it was 150 hours a month for the average adult in America. It's up to 158 hours in less than a year. Average Americans watching 5.5 to 6 hours of over 5 hours of television per day. Average non-adult is on social media 5 hours a day. Television watching, by the way, for young people is dropping dramatically. The networks are going bonkers. But it's older people who are not high-tech. They watch television 5 hours a day. Just imagine if you took 2 of those hours and you read something worthwhile. You'd be rich in a few years. Television makes you poor. They did a interesting study. They took people with socioeconomic categories, Wall Street Journal. They found as you went down the socioeconomic categories to the poorest of the poor, they had no books in their homes and the biggest televisions they could afford. As you went up to the top, and they watched about 7 hours of television a day. As they began to go up in terms of income, television watching decreased until they got to the top 5 or 10%. These people very seldom watch television. They would pre-record something and watch it at their leisure. Later on in the evenings or on the weekends, very seldom watch television, and their homes were full of books. So if you wanted to get into the top 10%, what you do is you have to do things that the top 10% of people do. So next is maximize. Determine your special talents, abilities, and strengths, and focus on developing them to a higher level. And you will learn how to do this in the time we spend together. And then multiply is to leverage yourself and your business with other people's customers, other people's knowledge, other people's abilities, other people's efforts, other people's money, and other people's resources. Now, you've heard the old saying, it takes money to make money. Yes, that's true, but it doesn't have to be your money. It can be somebody else's money. And all successful people have developed the ability to call on the money of others. Why? It's because they do good work, and they do good planning, and they take good care of their money, and people line up to give them money. Now we have trillions of dollars of money waiting. I have a good friend, one of my business partners, multi-millionaire, started with nothing. He's worth tens of millions of dollars. And he's sitting on a pool of money that he keeps at very low levels of interest. He said, I can't find a place to put it. And I will not put it until I find a place. If somebody could come along with any kind of a business proposition where the person has credibility and a track record and has a good business proposition, there's more money available than you can dream of. The money is there in torrents. It's like tsunamis of money that are available. So that's why when you read in the paper, you read that some such company just paid $1.8 billion or 2.6 or 9.9, or Google just offered Groupon $6 billion cash for their business. There's lots of money for good business ideas. But it doesn't have to be your money. It can be somebody else's money. And your ability to attract that money and to justify it is really important. So, 4 ways to change your life.